All right, something interesting's been going on in the environment, and it's obviously the incredible heat this summer in both hemispheres. Let's go over to the board and show you some of the reason why we're having so much heat and how we're going to increase the heat instead of decreasing it. Let me just show you one example of turning up the heat and not turning it down. Okay, you're not going to believe this news, but once again, TransCanadian is in the news again. They have decided to actually put together a crazy, obnoxious, silly, stupid plan. Their plan is to pump the tar sands oil through a pipeline all the way over to the east coast of Canada. At that time, it'll be put on a ship and shipped to one of 5 refineries here in the U.S. 2 on the east coast and 3 in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, this is going to cause so much environmental trouble. Let me show you why. First of all, it's going to travel over 90 watersheds. And you know that these tar sand pipelines always burst. It's just the way it is, because tar sands oil is full of sand, which is like sandpaper. So day after day of grinding the sand against the pipe, it wears it out and then blows out a leak. So this is going to go out over 90 watersheds, 3,000 waterways, like rivers. It always will have it's guaranteed to have an oil spill, just like all tar sands oil, usually in rail cars, crash along this area. But this insanity is to force the U.S. to accept the XL pipeline. So that's what this plan is for, is to push the U.S. into opening up the Keystone pipeline for oil tar sands. Let's go through the details. On another foggy morning ride, and I thought I would continue on the discussion. This morning I was coming out here riding in the city, and I almost got run over by somebody on their stupid phone. They weren't paying attention. They didn't notice that the light didn't change for them. They thought it did change for them, so they came right at me and didn't stop until they just about hit me, and then he actually looked up from his phone. It's getting ridiculous, people. It is getting ridiculous. You're at the store. In San Francisco, there aren't too many places to shop, so it's very crowded all the time. From the time they open to the time they close, there's hundreds of people in the store all the time. And it has become so irritating because somebody's stuck on their phone where you need to be to get what you're looking for. They're trying to figure out how to shop. They've forgotten. Since they got in the phone, they don't know how to just shop. You know, I just put it down on a piece of paper, write it down real quickly, and I just go down and shop, and I don't have to go and look at the history or all this stuff they're looking up on the phone when they could just pick the item up and put it in the basket. So is there any way, we can get rid of these phones? It's gotten to the point of patheticness. Of when you're driving and you come to a stop, either a light or a stop sign, if you don't honk, you're just going to sit there because the people are stuck on their phones. First of all, when you put the oil on the ship, that takes oil to pump the oil onto the ships. Then it takes oil to bring the ship to the refinery. Then it refines it and it is sold. The further away you go, the more oil it takes to bring this oil to market. And the ships that come over here, I don't even know if they're going to be making any money at all. How much money does it take to take a ship all the way around and over to the Gulf Coast? That's got to be some serious money. Now, the oil spill, critical spill areas are marked in orange. And the reason these are so critical is because they're whale habitats. And also, I didn't mark it, but along the Florida Keys, where manatees are, would also be disastrous if an oil spill was to pretty much anywhere having an oil spill in this area is disastrous for the whales, manatees, and specialty animals that are just in this area only. What a shame. I do have a really good suggestion for Canada. I know it's expensive, but you'd save yourself a lot of money if you just made your own refineries by the tar sands area. Since you're going to be using that, why not just build the factory there? That ends the oil spills, that ends all kinds of problems, because once you take that oil and refine it into its different parts, like gasoline and plastics and whatever else you're going to make out of it, it's going to be a lot easier to transport that than to transport all that heavy tar sands oil. Now, this kind of stupidity using tar sands is really stupid because it's the dirtiest oil there is. You'll put more pollution in the air with tar sands oil through one form or another than you will light crude oil. That's your cleanest oil, which is the one that's run pretty much out. There's not much left of that here in the US. There's a few other countries you can get light crude, but it's pretty rare, and that's why they talk, when they're talking about the oil prices, they're talking about heavy crude oil, which is the most common. Alright, let's go look at the consequences of what this kind of stupidity brings onto our planet. Not good. Some of the problems with the extreme global climate change we're seeing is record heat. In 2016, this caught climate scientists off guard because they weren't expecting it to go up so fast, so soon, and be so extreme this early. This wasn't supposed to happen until about 2050. Well, here on Pink Barrio, we warned that this was right around the corner ever since we've been doing videos. That's been several years now. We warned against this coming, and scientists are baffled about how quickly it is coming on. But as in my last videos, I talked about CO2 count and how it had a lag effect. Apparently they had forgotten about that. So fires here in the US, especially in California, have been getting far more severe. Flames reaching 50 to 100 feet in the air. Extreme record temperatures in Iraq and the US, where we've seen 120 to 129 degrees. That is, you cannot live in 129 for very long. You'll die from that kind of temperatures. We're seeing heat domes, especially over Los Angeles, where they're so severe and the fire is so hot that it actually breaks through the heat dome. Let's take a closer look here. So the fire gets so red hot and so hot that it breaks through the cooler layer of air, which is trapping all the smoke and the heat and causing all the high temperatures down below. But once this heat gets so high that it breaks through and goes up into the very high upper atmosphere, which is not good. So one of the other problems with global climate change is flooding. 1.2 million people in 2016 have been hit by floods already. 90,000 right now are in relief camps. And the monsoon season in India is completely off the map. It's unpredictable. Sometimes it doesn't show at all. Other times it's so extreme, like in the last several monsoons have been extreme in one form or another. Fire will just take over your forest. Floods will ruin your land. Now, what I wanted to do next was go over and look at the CO2 count, because right now we're sort of at the low end, but we're still in the 400s, and it doesn't look like we're going to get out of it anytime soon. So, I really appreciate you guys commenting. Sometimes I can't comment back. I don't know, YouTube won't let me comment back, or they don't want me commenting back. I don't know. But I definitely appreciate and do read every comment. So I appreciate all the comments and the ups and the downs and the new subscribers. And we'll keep watching this global climate disaster happen right in front of our eyes. What's next? Alright guys, until next time.